Welcome to day 46 of the 300 Movie Challenge. Today we watch the highest grossing film of March 1998, which was Man in the Iron Mask.
Okay, this has nothing to do with the film, but there were two references.
Oh, yeah.
More like three, actually.
Three references to, like, other things, like, there were two people. There was Raoul and Christine, which is Phantom of the Opera. Then these same two characters were dressed like the Beast and Beauty from Beauty and the Beast, the Disney movie.
Yeah,
And then
like
we
it's
kept constantly referring to the four musketeers as the Pokemon that they're associated with.
yeah, but no, the Beauty and the Beast thing. It's like exact. It's really weird. It's like that
So
was not a
distracting.
coincidence. It absolutely had to be on purpose by how close it was.
Yeah, because it was even like the dress was cut, her
The hair.
hair,
Yeah,
and the colors.
exact for
We
both
were
of
just
them.
like, wait,
I was like, wait a minute, guys.
something's amiss here.
Yeah. That was super bizarre. I don't know. Like, I feel like this. Like, I mean, Tara said, "What did you say?" You're like, "I have no opinion on this." Or
Yeah, I have
something.
no opinion about this.
It's like I
Kind
feel
of
like
feel this way.
I feel like everything in the movie was just like okay.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
literally everything was okay.
Like, I can't think of one thing that I really liked or really. Well, actually, no, there is one thing I disliked: the length of the film.
Okay, yeah, it was long, and the pacing. It's not even like the pacing was. Sometimes the pacing was too fast,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
usually it was too long, and it was just kind of weird. And it's kind of like reminds. It's not as bad as Sleepers, but it like
Oh my
kind
god.
of. At least it reminded me like of that in terms of like this should have been a show, kind of.
And
Yeah.
the thing is that we saw a 3-hour movie with Titanic, and the pacing was fine in that movie.
Yeah.
So this had absolutely no excuse.
Now Titanic is like the pacing standard.
Yeah, basically.
Because it managed to make a 3-hour movie like fine, right?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
and this made a 2-hour movie kind of like okay, come on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, there's like let me think. There's besides that, I'd say there's like two things that I didn't like.
I also didn't like the fact that it went on like superhero mechanics when the guy threw like that sword that isn't
Oh,
actually
yeah.
supposed
Oh yeah,
to
he just
be
like threw his
cut in.
sword
It
and
was
it
kind of
somehow
like
yeah. That doesn't make
because
any
they use
sense.
rapiers, and rapiers are like poking swords, and you can't really do much with them anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, and have it like spin like that. It's like no.
No, that doesn't work.
That kind of happened with like a few stunts and stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of silly. I mean, okay, one of the problems with this movie is that, like, it's, based on historical events, quote unquote. But it,
Yeah.
like, and I get that, you have your own freedom to, like, do what you want with that. But
Yeah.
it's kind of, like, too far removed. It's kind of like, why not just have an original story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like I there's literally historical inaccuracies of the film on the Wikipedia article.
Oh wait,
Oh my
really?
God.
But the thing is, like, and there's actually not too many things listed, but the things listed are gigantic differences. Right?
Oh,
It's like
that's interesting.
What were the
main
things
thing-
that were listed?
so D'Artagnan. Okay, like spoilers, I guess, but D'Artagnan, who is the Keldeo, he dies. And again, all those characters are based on real people.
Mm.
But he was like killed the actual D'Artagnan was killed in some like battle like later. So
Oh.
that's one thing. But serious thing I didn't know. Louis XIV did have a brother,
Oh, really?
but it was not his twin brother. So
Old or young?
And his name was Philippe, and he was born 2 years later.
Oh,
Oh.
younger brother.
And he did some other stuff, but so nothing related to how Philippe was actually in this movie. And then of course the last thing it says, notwithstanding the peace and prosperity alluded to at the film's conclusion, Louis XIV spent most of the remainder of his reign at war and was disliked by most people. So it's like, you know what I mean? The whole premise of the movie and how the actual resolution happens just doesn't happen at all. So it's
No.
kind of like, you
It's
know.
yeah, I agree with you. It's like, why didn't you just make up your own story,
They really could have.
make their own background and stuff?
They
and
could
go-
have like had more to do with it. With if they just went their own way.
They
Yeah.
could have just said it was based off of
Yeah.
the Man in the Iron Mask, but not actually gone into the historical things with the Man in the Iron Mask and stuff.
Well, see, the thing
Yeah.
is, like, I know about the Iron Mask, like, I don't even know if it's, like, a rumor or if it's an actual thing. I have no idea at this point. But I've at least heard the story of it.
Mm.
And I feel like the main thing is, like, the whole point of the story is that, you don't know who it is. Right?
Right.
That's the whole thing, but the thing is, like, this movie, like, gets that out of the way really early.
Yeah,
It's
like,
it's the guy's brother.
45
40
Alright.
minutes.
yeah,
It's like, but-
45 minutes out of a 2-hour-long film.
yeah, and then it turns into this whole, like, oh, he has to take over the throne or whatever, and it's like, it's okay, but it's like, I feel like it'd just be way more interesting if they actually did proper build-up of, like, wait, there's this guy in an iron mask, who is he, and trying to figure that out, and kind of playing some, like,
Yeah.
interesting kind of, like, psychological... That doesn't sound that's not the right
Detective.
word. Yeah, more like detective-y kind of thing, but like set in
Yeah.
this time period. Like that'd be more interesting. And again, so they could have that reveal that maybe he is the brother or whatever, but they should have that, like near the climax, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
instead of just like, oh, this guy exists. Okay, it's just
And
it
then
felt
it's,
kinda
like, more
odd.
like- Yeah, because
Yeah.
it became the inciting incident at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so that
Oh
was
yeah,
something
actually,
kinda weird.
mentioning the Iron Mask, he mentioned in the movie that he's had it for 6 years, and then miraculously, he's able to like walk fine, and his neck isn't like completely deformed
Yeah.
from having the Iron
And his
Mask.
skin is intact.
Yeah, his skin is intact.
Yeah, I don't know how how that works, but yeah. That would actually be kind of funny if like they're like, oh wait, he's the brother. Like if they somehow find that out before, like getting him out or whatever. Let's use him, and they take him out. They take the mask off, and he just looks like fucking shit. Like his face is like falling off and stuff, and everyone's just like, oh crap, what do we do?
Now what do we
Because
do?
if he has the Iron Mask and he's been wearing it for 6 years, that means he hasn't washed his face in 6 years, and whatever microbes and bacteria or whatever got into there probably is eating away at his flesh.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was expecting a more gruesome reveal.
yeah. So I don't know, but again, it's like the plot isn't bad. It's just kind of like okay, like everything's
Yeah.
okay. Like
The characters are meh.
they're fine. Well, okay. The two kind of minor-ish things. Porthos is kind of hard to like hear. He like
Yeah.
mumbles all of his lines, and you're like, "What are you even saying?"
I don't think his mic was on or something.
I don't know. And then Athos just kind of like sounded off to me, and
Yeah.
I don't know
Is-
what it was either.
Is he
just-
Cobalion again? I
Yeah,
forgot.
he's
Yeah,
the
he
leader
was
guy,
Cobalion.
Cavalion.
Okay.
I don't know, he just sounded weird. I don't really know what it was either, but he did. And then, okay, let's talk about Mr. King Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh god.
His
That was
his acting's actually like not that bad.
But it was just unbelievable to imagine him as the king
Yeah,
with
he
that
does not look like a
face.
king.
Yeah.
That does not
Yeah.
work.
This was not the role for him.
No,
No.
I literally I looked it up. He was like a little bit older than I am now in this movie, like when he was acting in this movie. I have no idea how old Louis actually was, but I'm just saying, like, it just doesn't work from like a vision from just looking at him. It doesn't work. Again, the actual acting and like his words or whatever is like it's okay. Again, it's not amazing, but it would be fine if he just looked like an actual king, and he doesn't.
We had made a joke where we were like, wow, this is where Jack fell.
Oh yeah. Jack, this is where you ended up.
So I don't know.
You okay?
And yeah, and there was that. There was and then what was the other thing I had like a problem with? I don't remember what it was. Oh, I guess it was the plot structure. So basically, for me, it was kind of how they handled the reveal of who it was,
Yeah.
how DiCaprio looks, Athos being kind of weird, and Porthos not being able to hear what he says.
Oh, one thing that I found really annoying was like how they handled the whole son's death thing, because the son's death was completely anticlimactic,
Oh yeah,
but it was supposed to be like a major driving force kind
Oh
of thing.
yeah, that was weird.
they didn't stuff him into the fridge properly.
No.
No. They're just like, oh, he's at the battle. Oh, he's dead. It's like,
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
He like stood in front of the cannon.
Yeah.
so yeah, that was kind of bizarre. Again, it's like, I feel like the movie, again, even though overall it was slow, there were parts that were way too fast. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Why?
definitely.
Hold on. So, but again, it's not, I can't even really say it's bad. It's just not, it's
Not
it's-
remarkable.
yeah,
No.
it's just completely no
you
opinion.
have no opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't have anything to say about this movie.
Yeah, basically. Besides those really minor things, but again, there are some decent things. Like again, I think Leonardo DiCaprio's acting at least was pretty good. I think the what's
The
his
green
name?
screening was good.
Oh, well, just actually it looks pretty good in terms of like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
time period, that kind
Costuming
of
was
stuff.
good.
That's
Yeah.
done well, but it's
And-
not like
okay.
excellent. It's just pretty good. So.
Everyone there was like the same.
Oh yeah, they're like their facial hair and stuff was like very very similar. So we had to like wait, who is who?
We had Pokemon.
Yeah, so that helped a little bit, but yeah, there's just not too much to say. I'm honestly kind of surprised because I was looking and it like Rotten Tomatoes has it at 33%, and it's like
Yeah.
that seems a little bit too harsh.
It's too low, yeah.
Right, like I'd say like 50 is like fine because again, it's like completely neutral, right? So
Yeah.
again, I don't know. There's no real reason to see it, right? Because it's like
Yeah.
you know, but I'm sure I can't really think of any just because I haven't really seen them. But I'm sure if you want some movie about this time period, I'm sure there are better ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, actually, that's something that I noticed. So, if you type in "The Man in the Iron Mask" on Wikipedia,
Oh yeah, aren't there like
yeah, there's
you
like
get like
10
7 movies or something.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let me get it right now.
I guess you can try one of those. I don't know.
If you just
Unless
say "The
they're
Man in the Iron
diff-
Mask" film, okay, you get a 1909 Italian silent film, a 1923 German silent film, a 1929 American silent film, a 1939 American black and white film, a 1952 American color film, a 1962 Italian French film, a 1967 Chinese film,
What?
a 1977 British TV movie, which that's kind of I think like the more famous one, and from what I've seen, like is actually apparently decently good. Let's see, a 1979 Austrian West German film. Let's see, a 1985 Australian animated TV film.
What?
Oh.
This one, and then apparently there was another one in '98, which it says it's also American film, but it doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
Oh,
So I don't
weird.
know how that works. But yeah, so I guess if you really want to see this story, I think watch the '77 one, which apparently is better, but I don't really know anything about it, so, you know.
Don't take her word for it.
Yeah,
Do your own research.
Again, the story itself is like not that interesting, so it's like at least how they handle it. I mean, maybe the '77 one does focus more on like the actual reveal of the person in the mask. I don't know. So it's whatever. That's the movie.
Feel
It's
free to
whatever.
let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there, I guess.
There's really nothing to say.
Yeah,
there's
not
really
much to
I
say.
don't
very
know.
much else to say. Bye.
Yeah.
I guess that's it.
Are you gonna end it?
Oh.
And we'll see you next time. Hopefully, we'll have more to say about it.
Yeah.
It's another film we don't know anything about, so
Yep.
who knows?
Oh yeah, it's,
Okay.
at least we'll have an entertaining actor.
Okay,
maybe.
yes. I looked this up on
Yeah.
Wikipedia, just a very basic thing, at the very top, and I hope this is hilariously bad. If anything, I'll welcome hilariously bad over just kind of neutral whatever, which is what this was,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If it's hilariously bad, it has the potential. It also has the potential to just be blah, but
Yeah.
I hope, please.
I guess we'll find out next time.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.